want to undermine my integrity in the presence of my family, I will never step back this time. I'm going to the court. Let them prove. It's as simple as that. If they have the proof, let them bring it. Because I don't think anybody can say, let me quote here, in one of the documents that I have read, where is it again? Okay. The Gambian Agricultural Minister, Omar Jallow, has for financial reasons connived with a Gambian businessman in the sale of tons of expired fertilizer in Senegal and the Gambia. When I forgot to tell you that, I never knew this Modu Diba till far after when he has already signed this contract with the ministry.
But you are aware that the contract of this particular fertilizer was signed by some senior members of the ministry.
That's right. Yes, I knew about it after it was signed. That's what I said. You can see that from the documents I'm giving you, Mr. Diba wrote thanking them on the 5th of March 2017. I was less than 1 month in my office. That's the letter. You are going to, all of you are going to get all this. Thank you.
One question at a time. Yeah.
Okay. I might start by saying that Kerfatu did contacted your press officer via email, and several calls were followed, and a testimony of a text message sent also is in my phone. You can
on the day itself.
On the day itself,
few
at the
hours
same time
before
with
you
the
publish.
presidency. I'm just coming.
I'm just also glad.
The question is, the Kerfatu report is premised on an investigation that's been sanctioned by President Adam Barrow, done by SRS, Military Intelligence at State House, and the Gambia Police Force. And the conclusion by the report, supported and endorsed by President Adam Barrow, is that Omar Jallow, as you quoted in that report, has connived with a private businessman to profit from the disposal of the fertilizer. As acknowledged last week that they have sent to Attorney General for advice, is it your position that as Kerfat, Barrow is also endorsing and colluding with his own private institutions, security institutions, with his security institutions, in the treacherous, misinformed, and unjustified publications against you?
Thank you very much. I'm happy to hear from you for the first time that the IS has made a report. I've never heard it anywhere. And I think, as I said, the president is not afraid of me. He's the one who appointed me, and he has the powers, all powers to dismiss me. I think I should have been consulted. I will say that I will not accept that story. It is wrong. It is unfounded. I will appeal to Kerfatu to get the report and bring it to court. Let them see why it was endorsed by the president and the IS that Omar Jallow signed a contract for monetary gains. Then I resign my job. Let the report come to the court, endorsed by the president.
Can I ask a follow-up?
No. Madam, please. No, I said one question at a time. Who wants to make ask another question? Yes, please.
Honorable Minister, according to the Kerfatu report, there was an instruction for this absolute fertilizers to be installed. Now, who gave the order for its removal from this?
I'm happy that you asked the question. Fortunately, I have all the documents here. In 2016, the GPPA, which is the authority of government that can discharge of government assets, gave approval to the experts who are working on this issue to dispose of the fertilizer. And it is a premise on that, with a active participation of the GPPA and NEA, that these experts sat down and decided a process and a way and manner in which to dispose of the fertilizer. And this was in 2016. And that was wrong before I became minister.
got the fertilizer land into the hands of Mamadou Giba, as highlighted?
I think that is for the question. You will see those who have signed the contract, for you to question those who have signed the contract. As I said, and I'm ready to go anywhere in the world and said when it was negotiated, I was not consulted. I want it in black and white. Nobody consulted me about the contract or the fertilizer until it was given. But I think that they are the experts and they have a responsibility as long as NEA was involved, GPPA was involved, and the Minister was involved, and the GGC was involved. These are the people who are the expert on this. I am not an agricultural expert. I'm a policy maker.
I just want to ask Honourable Minister, my name is Laminjaya, Paradise TV. You said you were barely 1 month in office when this contract was signed, and it involves officials of your ministry. Was there an instance where this issue came to your desk? And what did you do?
I said it only came to my desk when the ICs came to my office.
So you were not aware of it?
That's what I said. I've said it clearly.
But you knew about this?
I don't.
There's a fertilizer, there's some fertilizer that is not fit and should be disposed of.
Should be disposed of, yes. Because I visited when I became minister, when I was visiting the institute under my preview. And that was after about 7 or 8 months when the president transferred the responsibility of GGC from Minister of Finance to Minister of Agriculture. And that was long after the fertilizer, the contract was signed.
Yes. What step did you take?
On what?
When you heard about it?
They have taken, because the experts have sat on it. As I said, GPPA is responsible for the disposal of government assets. They are responsible. They have the authority, not me. And they sat with other institutions that have the authority. Because this was becoming an environmental and health hazard. And to dispose of it would have cost Gambia millions of dollars. That's what I'm saying. Still, we have stores full of this fertilizer. And you have heard, just before I left, there was somebody in Mansakonko who reported that animals are being killed if they go near the store where the fertilizer is. And we have one store in Birkama. They are all filled, full with this spoiled fertilizer. It's hazardous.
Yes.
I am Pabul Jana. Honorable Minister, as part of your, from Gambian Eyes, as part of your portfolio, don't you think it is your mandate to review all the files that are under you as Agric Minister?
To review?
To review all the files that are under you as Agric Minister.
Yeah, what you should understand, that government is made of institutions. An institution, each institution have a mandate and a terms of reference. And as I said, this fertilizer came into Gambia in 2009 under the president of Yaya Jammeh. Then the fertilizer was given to the GGC. So the GGC is the one who was in custody of this fertilizer. And you will find from the records that I'm going to give to you the letter written by GGC in 2016 to the Minister of Agriculture that they need to use their stores and government should do everything possible to get rid of the fertilizer. The managing director of the GGC wrote. And in follow-up, that is why when they set up the process of how to discard of the fertilizer, long before I sat in this office.
You talked about consulting, you said you've consulted your lawyers, considering taking necessary steps. What steps?
To court, for them to prove that I have benefited financially from it.
What will you be
And then I have,
what will you be suing?
defamation. Come on, man.
My name is Abubakar Sidikan. I am a full-time journalist. A program uncle at Sky.
All right.
Yes, I have listened to your deliberation. It's quite clear. But my question to you is only going to be one question. These are serious allegations.
Yes.
With regards to your personality.
Personality.
Yeah. And you have right to go to court and then clear the air. don't you think, in your experience in politics, and those that you are acquiring, don't you think it is better for you to resolve this matter alternatively than to go to court? Because the president has been informed, and there are...
I'm not cutting you. I'm ready to lose my job. I didn't look for minister. I never thought I'll come back to, as a minister. In the 22 years that I've been thrown in prison, in and out, I was ready to make the ultimate sacrifice for my country. That's why I stayed, when everybody ran away. I am ready to lose my job to get to the bottom of this. I have a family. And I think it's enough now for me to be going through treacherous and these problems. There is so much of stress within my family, both abroad and in Gambia. And my friends, this is not right. I have been one of the most open politicians to the press in Gambia. Everybody knows that. Why can't they not come and contact me? I've not run away. I'm coming back. It's as simple as that.
I follow, but the president has powers to ask you to drop it.
If the president asks me to drop it, I refuse.
Can we stick
Hey,
to
all of you, thank you very much.
Can we stick to one question at a time? Omar.
Thank you very much. I'm Omar from the Standard newspaper. Honorable Minister, the report that was published by the Gilfan Network actually threw out, quoted, a report that is an investigation done by the SIS and some military agents at the State House, which actually the President have approved. I just want to know, what about if it comes to the fact that the President actually approved that report and it was authenticated by the SIS and the military and the intelligence military at the State House? What will be your response?
I will resign my job, but I will make sure I take them to court for them to prove what they have alleged that I have done. Because I know that I have not done anything, I am not part of it. They can have their own problems. We know Gambians. Sometimes people don't like my face. Sometimes people don't like the way I behave. Sometimes people don't like my uncompromising stance. That's their business. But what I'm saying is, the courts have to clear me. Because even if the IC says I have been involved, they came only once to my office. And they didn't ask me any question. How can they know how involved I was? When there is no signatory of mine on any document. There is none in any of the documents where my name was involved that I participated in the process. How can they come to such a conclusion?
No. Yeah.
Afternoon.
I am Mustafa Sise, Speaker of Gambia President. You have said earlier on, Kefatu has not explored any measure to verify the information given to them before the office. And we've heard from Kefatu representatives that they have reached out to select people, which you have, or for instance, a report, they are relying on reports from the NIA, SIS current report, and the president. So, have you not been betrayed by somebody whom they have reached to, who should relate information?
That's why I said, if there is betrayal, there is treachery. The only place to resolve this in the courts. Wait for me. If the president appointed me and mandated ISIS under his preview to come and investigate my ministry, if he has from the report and he read it and he is convinced that the IS is a factual report, why is stopping him from removing me as minister? Why should OJ, as the minister, hear it from somewhere else? That's why I said, let them bring the report to the courthouse. Simple.
But you say they have never explored to verify, and they have said they have contacted somebody next to you. That person has never relayed the information to you.
They have contacted somebody next to me?
Yes, via email. They made the mention of it.
Who?
Can I respond?
Yes.
Can I respond? I was contacted the day the story was published.
When it has already been published?
Before it was published, 2 or 3 hours before it was published. I was sent an email by Mr. Fadabo. And my response to him was, these were last year's allegations. I have heard of this allegation. through an investigating journalist, but the story was never published. I did not even give him approval to quote me. And I have also told him not to publish the story. I think that was exactly what I told him.
The question is...
And,
wait.
And because there are consequences if you publish a story without proof. These allegations have no proof. Kerfado should, if they have proof, they should have published the story with their proof.
With their report?
Yes, with their proof. These are, you cannot publish a story without, and allegations without proof, without any evidence. That is what we are dealing with here.
Can I ask one more?
Wait. If there is a said report, wait. No, you have already had your voice. You have already made your statement. Let me respond, please. If there are allegations, if the said report exists, that is their evidence, let them bring forth the evidence.
That's what we need.
If they publish a story based on hearsay, without an evidence, we have every right, the Honorable Minister has every right to clear his name. Now that they said there is a said report at the Attorney General's office, the Attorney General will review the said report and do what's right.
No, I want to just add to this that then the Attorney General has a right. If they are the people who gave these people the report, when these people are going to court, let them give a copy of the report to come to the courts and clear themselves. It's as simple as that. Because me as minister, I have never been involved in the process. So I want to see the investigators who has not asked me one question, how they arrived to the fact that I am guilty of something that transpired from 2009 to 2014. That's what I want to clear, that's all.
No, Seni, no. I did not give you a chance to speak, so we allow others to speak. Anyone? Lamin, thank you. No. You already had your chance. You give priority to others.
Honorable Minister, if this allegation has anything to go by, many believe that there is sort of reputation of the then regime where you were one time.
That's right. PPP?
Yes, that's
what happened.
Some of such things normally used to happen by then.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. What's your take on that?
Thank you very much for coming with this. I was one of the few fortunate Gambians to be the youngest minister ever in Gambian history. And I served for 14 years. And my government existed for 29 years. And when the coup took place, we can remember Lieutenant Colonel Yaya Jammeh saying we rampant corruption. Fortunately, they set up 4 commissions of inquiries. And the commission of inquiry where Sir Dawda and all his ministers went before was the Bamfo Commission. Degree number 11 established the Bamfo Commission. And it said the commission will sit in public and the report will be made public. I would like you people to go to the archives of the Observer and the Point. All the other 3 commissions made their report public. Up to today, that is the only commission that has never ever published their report. And that was the commission that would have confirmed Yaya Jammeh's claim that there was rampant corruption in this country. Anybody who talks about rampant corruption in PPP, you are just talking out of the docks. It's not true. Let the commission report come out. And so, where Sir Dawda, myself, and all other ministers were corrupt. They called us to this commission for 11 months. I challenged the commission, and they arrested me, and I was being taken to the mile 2. Every morning they bring me from mile 2 to the commission. Because I refused to accept my rights to be violated because they thought they can do anything or anytime. I refused. And now I'm saying, anybody who's interested, I think the most important commission that sat in this country was the Bamfo Commission. Because Sir Dawda and all the ministers went before that commission. And the degree number 11 that established it said, the commission will sit in public and will be made the report public. Up to today, not any Gambian, except the 4 members of the AFPRC saw that report. So if anybody is accused of corruption, you lie.
Yes.
My name is Multan.
Hey. So bëgg sama ci pol
li ma bëggoon a laajte mooy bi ma gisee report bi Kër Fatou xooloon naa Aminata Korea pour laaj ko ci loo aju si mbir mi bokk na si li mu waxoon mooy ne lii du tuuma bu ees te kon naa waxaat na ko léegi tuuma bu yàgg la maanaam yàgg na ko tuuti lan moo sababoon li ñuy déggee tuuma boobu noonu ootewuloo woon pour amin taskatu xibaar yi daje ngeen bàyyi ba Kër Fatou bind ko ngeen doog a oote ndaje.
non bala ma déedéet bu ko answer yow man la ñëw pour like questions tuuma bi ñu wax mooy bi tuuma bi mu wax xam nga man dama respect authority and rule of law and process. If the President's office instituted an investigation ñu ne dañu war a investigate ñu seen fi ISIS foog naa ne su dee man responsible leader la dama war a xaar bañ ñëw nañu gars yi préparé seen report lii lañ def report bi te foog naa ne kon report boobu war naa dem cabinet balaa ko ne di ci jot because it was the President office ñi nga xam ne ñoo wax gars yi ñoo investigate agriculture and other institutions they went throughout the whole country on this investigation léegi su dee ñoom dem nañ ba def investigation ba gis li ñu war a gis decide ne lii lañ war a am gis nañ lii gis nañ lii gis nañ lii léegi lii lañ bëgg a nguur gi def ak lii lañ bëgg a mu def diw ak diw ak diw ñoom lañ war a gis ne ñoom ñoo ameewul lii ñoom lañ war a def lii ak lii ak lii foog naa ne kon ñun mi nekk in authority war nañ ko yëg waaye tuuma la rek ñëw nañ investigate dem toog 8 months ba tey kenn déggu dara ci ministre bi xam nga loolu duñ mën a jóg di wax ci loo xam ne xamaguñ ñoom biñ defee seen investigation lan lañ ci jëlee ak lan lañ gis ak lan lañ xam ak lan lañ wax.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful for this opportunity again. You said, Honorable Minister, that in the process of the disposal of the fertilizer that in question, due process was followed. Now, I am in custody of the NEA report you are talking about. And the NEA report categorically stated that this fertilizer should be tested in Dakar. Do you have an evidence of this fertilizer being tested by your office in Dakar before its disposal?
I'm happy that you brought it because I see in the documents that were brought for me, that's why I prepared all of you will see it, that the NEA proposed that the fertilizer should be tested in Dakar, and that was in 2016. That's not during my time. I became minister 2017.
When it was disposed?
No, wait, I'm coming. So they said, already the government of the day at that time, with their officers, have already known that the fertilizer is not good. Why should we spend money in order to see fertilizer that were in the stores from 2009? The ingredients are expired. They can never be used again. Just to get rid of this fertilizer would have cost us millions of dollars. And everybody knew, the experts knew, that's why they didn't do it. They knew that it's not correct. That's why the GPPA, which have authority, allowed the committee to dispose of the fertilizer. That's what I'm saying.
But they who said that there was no money for the disposal of the fertilizer?
The institutions that were there before, that was in 2016, I was not there.
But excuse me if I am interrupting too much. The NEA report categorically clear that this fertilizer has toxic substance which could harm people and the environment. I'm coming. Now, you are the custodian of farmers in this country. Now, you found it okay a month into your office, or 2, that this fertilizer, and you are supposed to be in control of your ministry,
that's right,
has been discharged by your officials under your watch, that's right, without your notice. And they took it to Senegal, because I have evidence of it. And let me read something to you about what an ECOWAS protocol says about this. because the Gambia government is currently in contravention of an ECOWAS protocol.
That's right.
A treaty that's binding on Gambia.
Sorry.
It states that member states undertake individually and collectively to take every appropriate step to prohibit the importation, transiting, dumping, and burying of hazardous and toxic substances in their respective territories.
Thank you very much.
Gambia government violated an
They don't.
treaty
They didn't.
binding on them.
They didn't.
In nature, by
Let
the
me
nature of the
let me
disposal of the
teach you some
fertilizer.
lesson. Fortunately, fertilizers that have lost their potentials can be reactivated. Fortunately, it's only Senegal and Mauritania and Ivory Coast that has it in West Africa. That is why the Senegalese were buying it, taking it to activate the ingredients in the fertilizer so that they can use it for other purposes. That's why the Senegalese authorities were allowing them to go. The only person who was arrested was the one taking it to Mauritania, not the one going to Senegal. So many trucks have gone to Senegal.
Can I interrupt?
No, please, let me finish. When you are talking, I don't interpret you. I don't interrupt you. So the Agric, to reactivate the fertilizer, is only Senegal, Mauritania, and Ghana that has that capacity to do it. That is why. And when they arrested the Mauritanian ambassador intervened, and the man was released.
No, I want to.
No, listen, allow him.
The Mauritanian, based on the information I have, because I just met Mr. Diba, the gentleman who was given the contractor to dispose the fertilizer, and I want to ascertain that Mr. Diba's responsibility is selling coos and maize.
Yes.
Coos and maize at Sandika. I met him this morning.
That's right.
Now, your ministry found it okay to contract someone who is selling coos and maize, disposal, not reactivate, the language is disposal, of a fertilizer in Senegal. And the ministry has no monitoring mechanism to confirm how this fertilizer is used in Dakar.
That is a sovereignty problem. What we have agreed in Gambia is the fertilizer is toxic and it can be hazardous to human beings and animals. So let us get rid of it. And in the contract, you'll get a copy. They have not informed. The only condition they gave to him that one bag of this fertilizer should not be sold in Gambia. If he does and he is arrested, they will deal with him. Because we know Gambia doesn't have the means to reactivate the fertilizer. And then it is not our responsibility. There are so many business people who are doing business between Gambia and Senegal, between Gambia and other countries. Who are we to dictate? How many cool sellers are now doing other businesses in Gambia here? If I am only a bitikinar man, doesn't mean I cannot sell bread. Selling bread doesn't mean I cannot sell a bag of rice. I don't think we should try to computerize people's activities. That's not fair. What I'm saying is the fertilizer should be got rid of. If not, it will affect human beings and animals. And if the government wanted to get rid of it, they will spend millions and millions to do it. Now, if they have people who can assure them that they can get rid of it and not sell anything in Gambia, but the countries that can reactivate the fertilizer, who are we to stop them?
Honourable Minister,
yes.
Clearly, there's a report that the presidency is aware of. The presidency is telling us that this report is at the AG's chambers. They are waiting for advice.
That's right.
And there's a lot of talk surrounding this issue, and the president or the presidency hasn't spoken to you about this
That's
issue.
Right.
Do you feel betrayed by the president?
No. You know, me, I see myself as a human being. And God has never created a perfect human being. We all make mistakes. And through our imperfections, that is why even human beings have never done a perfect thing. There is no perfect system. There is no perfect government. There is no perfect family. There is no perfect human being. I will not feel betrayed by him. What I'm saying is, let the report be published for the whole Gambia to consume, and if any of us found ourselves wanting, either the president has a right to sack us or we resign our jobs. Simple. But for me, I have not yet had this report has been, I have seen from when I was in China, from the president's press officer, saying that the report is now ready and it is with the Attorney General's chambers. Yes, I'm waiting. Let the Attorney General's chambers make their decision and then let us be contacted. If they make a decision that OJ was found liable, let them prove it.
But you work under him, so it's only fair that he talks to you about it.
But I said that in my first statement when I was saying. But I said people make mistakes. So and the president is no exception. I said there is no perfect human being. I can only take 2 more questions.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much for entertaining a lot of questions. I think the most important thing is to clear the doubt. I have 2 questions to ask. Considering the toxic nature of this fertilizer, and still there are stores that are storing this fertilizer, they still harmful to both human and animal. How soon can we get rid of this fertilizer and make sure that the food is safe? We are facing with a lot of environmental challenges. And if you try to dump this thing in any community, you will face another resistance. So my worry is how soon are we seeing that these toxic fertilizers are disposed?
That is why
we're talking about government spending millions of dollars just to dispose this fertilizer.
That's right. Because so much. 9,500 tons. That's about how many thousand of bags? 150,000 or so. That's what I'm saying. I said the whole vision of the people who started the process in 2014 up to 2016 was to get rid of this fertilizer so that it will not harm Gambians. And I think the best way was if we can get it out of this country, because we don't have the millions to destroy it. Now, if they go into partnership or into contact with a businessman who can take it somewhere where it can be made useful, why are we stopping him? That's my question.
Please, let me.
No, please, no, please, come in. Manage, you are control. No. Yes, everybody.
One at a time.
This is very important.
Yes, Aja.
This was what I said, one at a time. No, you cannot do that.
No.
It's a follow. No. It's a follow.
Aja, no, yo, let's say you can, yes. Yes.
You were not in office when the report.
No, sir.
You were not informed by your right. With regards to your experience.
That's right.
Don't you see this is a kind of a conspiracy around your ministry? Do you agree?
I agree with you that there is a conspiracy, not around my ministry, but around OJ. Let me take you, I am a politician all and out, and I will always ever be a politician, irrespective of what. I just give you an example. I went to America with the First Lady, with all the ambassadors, and they make a nice banquet, and we are enjoying ourselves. But they came only and showed OJ dancing and tell me everything in the world that you can think of. When the First Lady was dancing next to me, the ambassador in London, Washington and New York, Tangara and others were dancing with me. Ministers were dancing with me. But why just OJ? That's why I was happy. When they asked me, I said up to today when I'm talking to you, I go to nightclubs. Everybody knows that in Serekunda. I don't care. I said if Nelson Mandela can dance. When I was minister, every year we organize Yusundur. Sir Dauda will come, the speaker will come, all the ministers will come, and they will dance. If recently they have shown Macky Sall and the president of France dancing. If the king of Mecca, who is entrusted with the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, they can dance, why not OJ? I am telling you, this whole thing is about me. And I have understand it.
Because OJ is a mask.
Because nobody, I cannot fit in anybody's pocket. That is me. And I was not born a minister. But I'll continue saying what I feel and what I want. When I was born in a mud house in Oluyundu, who said I was going to be a minister? And my father's 7th child, and my mother's 4th child. Why should I worry?
Thank you.
What I'm saying is, all these things.
I mean, one question.
We should.
This is important.
We should really. We should. Excuse me. Excuse me. We should start this new dispensation. We won because we came together with one mission and one vision. And the one vision and the one mission was Gambia. Gambia is more important than all our parties and our parties' leaders put together. And all the tribes and all the tribal leaders put together. That is my problem. That I am not in for party. I am not in for tribe. I am in for the Gambia. That's why I stayed and went to prison 22 times. Lost my eye. Lost one of my best friends under torture, Mojalo, Ndoj. And 3 or 4 of my friends are still working with a stake. Because I believe in my country. That's why I'm here. I'm going to stay here. And if anything happens whereby I'm removed, who am I? Are you a minister? Am I better than you? I go back to Serekunda and be part of Serekunda. Simple. And continue saying what I'm saying and doing what I'm doing.
No, I mean, this is important.
Thank you very much. No. Thank you.
One question.
All right.
One question.
BBC, YC.
Okay.
No.
From what you have said,
yes.
You said you gave this thing to somebody to take it somewhere where it can dispose of it.
Not me. I said those who signed the contract with him.
Yes, from...
I was never ever informed. You know when I knew that. Thank you very much. Let me come there. You know when I knew Modiba, thanks to Edu Gomez, I was sitting in my house one night, 2 days before last year. Edu Gomez, who is a very good cutoff of mine, lawyer, came with 2 people. Yes. I have a client of mine. He's detained for 4 days now in the police, and after tomorrow is prayers, and then people are telling me that for you are always helping. If you can help so that they can bail him. I take my phone, rang the police operations director, and said, I thought detailing